Hey guys, welcome to another episode of You're Here with Ataysia. Today we have a very special guest. Can we get a drum roll, please? Ametra, who is also my mother. I'm very happy to be interviewing my mother today, and I'm so excited because we're going to be asking her a bunch of questions about body positivity and all these questions I came up with myself, and later on we'll be playing a game and then we'll have questions from the viewers. So I'm excited. I'm pretty sure my mother's excited to be answering our questions and to be a guest on the show, and we will be hearing from her very soon. So let's give a warm welcome to my mother, Ametra. Yay!
Hi, my name is Ametra Self, and let's see, all about me. I am in the entertainment industry, but I did not always just be in the entertainment industry. I actually worked for the Chicago Stock Exchange for 17 years, but during the time that I was working at the stock exchange, I always wanted to become a TV and film maker. And so during my time working at the stock exchange and on the trading floor, I was getting an education in becoming a certified TV producer. I started my first company, Infinity Entertainment, and it was actually in May of 1991. Its original name was Infinity Productions because I always wanted to make a movie. Back then, it was kind of unheard of for a young girl like myself to become a filmmaker. And in addition to that, before, what made me want to become a filmmaker was because I really wanted to become an actress and a news anchor. And I was inspired by watching the news, the local news in the city of Chicago. Even though I never saw, as a child growing up, I never saw women. I would always just see men broadcasting the news. And one of my favorites, I just remember that I was inspired by Fahey. His name was Fahey Flint. And when I would watch the news every night, I used to say, I wish I could do that. I want to do something like that. So I just did not know. Now I know where and the type of major is needed to become a journalist and a possible broadcaster. So I started creating my own. Much later down the line, I created my own news segment. But the difference with mine is that it's called Elevate, and the goal was to only promote positive news because we would hear so much negative news, especially in the city of Chicago. There was so much negative news that there was no balance. And a lot of times, if I worked on something or I knew about something positive, sometimes the negative news started coming in so much that it overshadowed the positive news, and the positive news would never hit the airways. So I started creating my own, and I would start researching for different news segments of what's going on that's positive. And I do recall having other news anchors, like young people that were wanted to do the show as well. And what was challenging was that when we would broadcast the news, someone would always tend to start talking negative about a particular topic, and I would have to reel them back in because I would say, no, this is Elevate. So no negative news was allowed. I've done a lot in my time here since May 1991, but I did start off doing drama, and that was when I was in high school. I attended Chicago Vocational High School, also known as CVS, and that was back in the 1900s. So, but we are still like one big close knit family, even after decades. When we come together and we support each other. And so I remember wanting to write a script. I wrote my first script when I was in high school. It was kind of all over the place, but as I started learning more and more, I figured out how to actually make it a solid um, script. And then after that, over the course of the decades, I started producing my own independence. That's pretty much it. An author, a stage. I produced a musical stage play with my whole entire family. Participated in that, and it was on breast cancer awareness. And then I actually ended up living that similar story. And so wow, when we did that play, we were on the outside looking in. I ended up about 3 years ago, 3 to 4, or about 3 years ago, I ended up actually on the inside looking out. So now I said I will write the sequel, so to speak, so I could be able to now share with people what happens when this type of thing happens to you. And thank you for having me on your show.
Our topic today is loving you. Me and my mother will be discussing self love and body positivity, which will be our focus. This episode is very important because what we'll be talking about today is about wellness, and it's very special. It's going to be a very wholesome conversation between me and my mother, but we'll also be getting advice. I'll be receiving advice from my mother, which, not trying to be biased again, but very good advice to know, like from my mother. I know she'll give us very good advice, and you all hopefully can take away something special from this episode as well. We'll be playing a game later on. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about the game when it's closer to time, and then we'll have our viewers Q&A segment, of course, at the end, where she'll be answering questions from you all about body positivity. Again, our topic is loving you, so let's hear what both of us have to say about the topic in this episode of You're Here with Ataysia, the podcast. All right, thank you so much for the phenomenal introduction. Let's talk a little bit about Elevate because it's one of my inspirations for this podcast. And definitely on this podcast, the goal is to only talk about positive things, which goes into our topic. It's called Lovin' You, like the Minnie Riperton song, because you're my mom, and that's like an inspiration for the topic. And we're gonna be talking a little bit specifically about body positivity, is what the questions are about. We'll also be talking about self-love in general. So feel free to talk about whatever you like of your experiences and your journey in answering these questions.
Okay.
So my first question to you: why is it important to love your body?
It's very important to love your body. The way that I look at things, and I didn't always feel this way, and I'll explain that in a moment. It's always best to love and accept your way as you are at that moment, because we are always changing, and just realistically, our bodies are not going to always stay the exact same. And we think about it, and a lot of times we don't think of this thing. When we are born, we are a newborn baby. And one of the key things that's evaluated as babies get older is their growth, right? So when we're a newborn baby, we have a tiny body. As we get older, our body starts developing and we start growing. We don't know how we're going to look by the time we get certain ages, but the main goal is to grow. The main goal is for our bodies to change. And so I dealt with issues when I was in the sixth grade. I was considered to have developed earlier than most young girls would develop. And I remember I was embarrassed. I would be humiliated. I was teased a lot. I was teased when I was in the sixth grade by my classmates, my peers, because my body started developing similar to what an adult, a teenager, like an older teenager, an adult. Because I think when you're in the sixth grade, you're like around 12, I want to say. I was like around 11 to 12. So I was very busty. And oh God. So I was going through that body transitioning from a young girl to a teenage girl that eventually, to an adult. But let's just say from a girl to a preteen. And so I started developing, and again, mostly in my bust area. And I just remember I was too embarrassed and I was too ashamed to go to my mom and say, okay, I need something. So what I would do when I would go to school, I was still wearing t-shirts, like the little t-shirts that we would wear when you're little. I was wearing t-shirts. And so my mom, I remember she bought me, and you can cut this out if it's not suitable, but my
It's
mom
fine.
bought me training bras,
Mm.
but they were too little. She bought me training bras, but I was too embarrassed to tell her that they're too little because that means now she's got to really take me to. She's really got to buy me more. I wasn't in training. I don't think I ever went into training, and so I used to get teased because I would still wear them, but I would have different students in my class, boys and girls. That would say, "You need a bigger bra. You need a uh, is that a trainer bra you're wearing because you need something bigger?" And of course, I'm a kid, so I'm not going to the store buying my own. I didn't even know what to do. But when I tell you when that change happened for me, and I would go and take my sisters, because I have two older sisters, I would go and borrow one of her bras to wear to school so I wouldn't get teased. And then when I get home, I take it off and put it back in her drawer. I don't know if she ever knew that, but if she watched this, she's gonna know.
Knows
But
now.
she's not gonna know.
Oh.
She's not gonna know. I have two sisters, so they're not gonna know which one. They're probably gonna know.
Yeah.
But I think I did get busted one time though. I think if I can remember correctly, I think I got busted and I think I was questioned like, "Hey, are you wearing this?" But and it was because I was too embarrassed to tell my mom, "Hey, the kids are teasing me. They said this ain't cutting it. I need some regular size bras." And so even when I was wearing my sisters, I remember coming home from school, and this was probably every day. And we had two bathrooms, and I would go to the back bathroom, and I would just look at myself in the mirror, and I would just stare at myself in the mirror, and I would cry, 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 cry. I used to take bath towels, and I would try to tie now because I'm 12, 13. I used to take the bath towels, and I would try to tie them down as tight as possible. Or I'll take a pillowcase because I have a small frame, of course, but I'll take the pillowcase and I'll tie it, and they weren't going anywhere. I started shopping for myself, buying the clothes and I felt confident. And so I had to embrace that. This is where God has me now.
Thank you so much for answering the question. I had similar stories as well, and especially like the teenage stage of my life where, facing insecurities and facing what other people have to say. So it's much needed advice for someone like me who's a young adult now and other teenagers, like anybody at any age that needs to hear that. You kind of answered the question that I had next, which was, has there been a time that you felt insecure about your body? So you kind of talked about that. And let that lead into our next question, which is, what have you done to overcome these insecurities?
I just became honest with myself because even as a super adult, well, like this, I would say like the past 5 years, I would say, um, I wasn't satisfied. I was not, and I'm not going to lie and say, yeah, the way I looked or whatever. I just wasn't satisfied, and I knew that I needed to do something, not just with, not just for good health, but um, my outer appearance as well. Because, like I said, as I was a younger adult, I was a certain, I was a certain way. And so, when I was talking about when I got sick, it's almost like things went right back, it went full circle for me. So I was used to being a certain size, and then, as life starts lifing, and I knew like with my weight, I had to be medicated. I had to take blood pressure medication. And a lot of times, different medications you might have to take can also cause other issues. So it may fix one thing, but it could possibly hurt something else. And I just said, I have to do something just for myself. At this point in my life, I wasn't doing it for the people. I needed to do this for myself. And so I started making sure that I started eating right. I started cutting out like a lot of sweets. I found out that too much candy and sweets can cause health issues, including like cancer feeds off of that too much candy. And I was eating a lot. I was eating a lot of candy, and so I just wanted to feel good about myself. I wanted to not feel tired all the time. Um, and I, going to shop and love something so much, but I try it on and it don't look right, it doesn't fit right, and things like that. That was my turning point. Like I always love cute and dazzling, glamorous stuff, and I was like, okay, this is cute, but I don't like how it's fitting here. And so I just wanted to make sure now, especially now that I started, gaining the weight back, that I maintain a good, healthy weight, and one that um I think I'm cute when I look in the mirror.
Thank you. You look amazing right now, by the way.
Thank
Loving the
you.
fit, the earrings, and loving the puff. It looks
Thank
cute.
you.
Yeah,
So
I would say it's very important, especially with clothing, which I notice a lot more now. There's a lot of sizes, like there's a lot of new sizes. Like me growing up, I'm super thin, of course. And it like anybody can face like where you want an outfit and it's not the right size. So I think it's very important that a lot of clothing brands are putting more sizes out there because like for me, I would have a problem with my pants, for example. They would be like wide, like too wide, but then they'll not be like long enough. Like it'll always be something with what I'm wearing. So I think that it's very like special to go to a store that has like more options than they probably
right.
did like a while ago. So thank
Yeah.
you for answering that question as
You're
well.
welcome.
What do you do to pamper yourself and to take care of your body?
Um, what do I do to pamper myself? I don't do this often, which I really should, but I do make sure that um I take actually hot showers. A lot of people are like, how do you take a hot shower? I take hot showers, but I need to stop doing that because I did discover that that could kind of affect your skin.
Mm.
But I use cocoa butter every day and I apply it to my face and my skin because I have a very dry skin. And so I like doing that. I like using my different scented soaps and lotions that I get from the stores. Um, and let's see. I need to do it more. I need to go and pamper myself more. That's really because I don't do it a lot.
Mm.
I don't. So that's really pretty much what I've been doing a lot lately is with the showers and just, applying the cocoa butter and things like that. But I used to love to polish my nails and get my nails done and my pedicure, manicure, different things like that. So I want to start doing that again.
I'll pitch in. You have your little walks as well, which is that's very valuable.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I every day now I make it my business to walk at least 20 to 40 minutes.
All right, thank you for your answer. Also, note to the audience and to myself, water is important. I kind of also just want to show off our matching water bottles.
Oh
So,
yes.
on Mother's Day, which was not too long ago, I bought my mother a hydro flask, and hers says "Queens don't compete," right?
That's right.
Yeah. And mine's it's kind of a glare for my lighting, but it says bad and bougie. So two different kind of two different messages, but they match and they're cute. So yeah. We drink water, water break.
Yes. Oh, that's right. I do 1 cup of water an hour.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I need to do that more. I fill up a water bottle, or I'll get like multiple water bottles and just drink them, drink them, drink them. So, reminder to the audience, if you're watching right now, take a water break with us. Can we toast through the camera?
Yes.
Can we? Clink, clink. Our next question. What are some affirmations someone can remind themselves that can help them grow to love their body?
You are uniquely, wonderfully made. I am a strong believer that accept yourself for who you are, accept your body for the way it is at that moment. Be grateful. So, positive affirmations, I would definitely say just loving who you are, loving your body for the way it is.
Thank you for those kind words of affirmations. What helps you remain positive about the changes in our bodies?
Just with me, just being mindful that um, every day can bring about a change. And so if I'm at a place with my body that I'm not 100% satisfied with, I know that it's temporary. And I know that there may be things that I need to do to be able to make adjustments. For example, if I'm eating the wrong things, or I'm eating late, and I know when I go to bed at night, eating late is going to cause me to maybe put on extra pounds in my midsection, or not drinking water, or I'm like drinking a lot of pop that could possibly affect certain areas. And so I would try to make sure that I implement a diet that or life healthy lifestyle change that will allow me to be able to be where somewhat where I would like to be, uh, so that I can remain, a positive attitude about it. But I do know that a lot of times things does change, it alters. And so I'm just accepting to know that, okay, I might be this way right now. But, in a few weeks, if I follow this same thing that I know worked before, it'll work again.
We have two more questions.
Mhm.
Um, Next question. How does body positivity play a role into self-love?
I think it's very important. I think it plays a significant role. And the reason being is, like I said, if you're not accepting your body for the way that it is, then that could play mind games with you. Like, you want to look in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, my body looks hideous. And that'll start bringing down your self-esteem. It'll start making you literally, I don't want to say hate is a harsh word, but it could possibly cause you to hate your body. And if you're not comfortable with where you are, then that'll start working with you mentally to the point where your self-esteem and you can, become depressed because it's very important to love yourself and just embrace yourself. Otherwise, if you're looking at yourself from a negative standpoint, those that negative vibes will just start working in your head and you'll start finding yourself, not liking who you are.
Yeah, I agree. When I was growing up, I didn't really pay attention to my body. I guess I didn't really know what self-love was when I was younger because it like of course those things don't really matter to you, I feel like until you get like in those preteens. And a lot of people that or just my environment made me feel very uncomfortable and insecure about my body. And like that really took a toll on me, like in general. Like I didn't feel good about myself. Like of course there were like other things that I didn't like about myself, but I think my body became like the primary thing where I was just like unhappy and then I was struggling because I wanted to make changes not really for myself but for other people. And looking back on it now, like when I actually made changes, like of course it's like difficult to make changes in your body, whether it's like because of your health or like just appearance wise. But I learned that doing it for yourself, like allows you to take your time with it because if you're trying to change for other people, you want to do it now and it still might not satisfy them. So like once you get in the mindset, I feel like it's definitely a mindset like you have to be positive with yourself. Like you have to remind yourself, like I'm doing this in the timing that's right for me. And eventually, like it's normal to not like things about yourself and your body the way it might be. But like I think it's important to like keep a positive mindset that yeah, my body looks this way right now. I might not be happy with it. It doesn't really matter if other people are happy with it or not because it's not their body, it's mine. And you have to like um do what you can to like improve for yourself. It's I think it's right, yeah. Like it's okay to be not okay with the state that you're in right now, but you have to do what you want to change it for yourself and know that it's not gonna just happen overnight. Like, it's gonna take time to do that.
It feels more rewarding when you're doing it for yourself and not for others.
Right, yeah. So I really like the word embrace because like even if your body isn't the way that it wants to be, that you want it to be right now, still embrace it. Like this is who you are. And all that matters is that you feel like comfortable. So thank you for answering that question. I have one more question in this segment before we move on to our game.
Okay.
What advice can you give to someone who doesn't feel comfortable in their body?
Advice I would give is to know that first and foremost, you are not alone. I can guarantee you that there's a huge percentage of people who are not satisfied with their bodies. And so I would just, the advice I would give is like, for yourself, not for other people. Block out what other people negative have to say about your body because, again, it is your body. And you just want to, just take notice of those things, those areas. And like for me, like I said, my midsection, um, if that's something that I want to try to work on, then I know the different things that I need to do to try to work on it. So that's the advice that I would give. It's like it's okay to feel like, oh my goodness, you're not alone. So a lot of people feel like that, and just do it for yourself more than anyone. Don't do it for anyone else, but do it for yourself. Point out and kind of take notice of what areas you want to work on. Don't give yourself a time limit. Give yourself grace and do what it is that you know that could possibly help you get to that point. But always, always love yourself. Your body is a part of you. I just, oh God, I'm a strong believer of, like I was struggling with my weight, but it, when I lost the weight and from illness, at that point, I was like, at the end of the day, that don't even matter. What matters most is that I'm here and my body is now healthy, whatever the size is. So, yeah.
Thank you for the advice. Yeah, I definitely agree. Time limiting, it can be good and bad. I remember like I would say like, okay, this time I have to gain this amount of weight, and then when the time comes, it's been that amount of time. like whether I had actually taken the steps to work towards that weight or not, I get there and I'd be like, wait, I'm the same way, or like maybe lost more weight or gained a little bit of weight. And I was like, maybe putting a time limit doesn't help me. Like it's different for everyone. Like it could be motivational because it might inspire you to put work in for it. But
Right.
especially if you just expect it to just happen by then instead of putting like the steps for it, which is what I was just like, well, in a year I'll be fine. And then that year passed and I was like, wait, I'm like not at that goal that I put in for myself. So I realized like maybe like everybody's method will be different, but for myself, not limiting my time on when I should be a certain weight because things like could change like your weight that you might, like not really have control over. Like I was struggling at that time and it wasn't something that just happened. It was something I had to work on. And then when I went to school, it was a lot easier for me because I was in a new environment. I have people that like support me better. Like people are like, especially at this age, more mature to not be constantly bringing people down because of like what they look like. And that helps me like continue that's what motivates me is like my environment and also like my drive to get to the goal without saying like it has to be by then. I just know like I have to trust myself and my body to get to whatever point it's supposed to be in at the time it's supposed to be that way. So
That's right.
yeah, thank you again so much for answering these questions. We'll take a quick break and then we'll go to play our game. Yay! Thank you so much, Ametra, aka my mother, for answering those wonderful questions and giving us wonderful advice. Now we'll be playing a game. So exciting. So the game we're playing today is Madlibs Affirmation Editions. So, Ametra, this is the only time I can call you that, I guess. Do you
Yeah.
know what Madlibs is?
No.
Okay, awesome. So Mad Libs, I have a story created that I created myself for legal purposes. I'm just kidding, just because it's fun. It's gonna be a positive storyline because again, positivity is the answer, the goal for this podcast. I'm going to ask you a series of questions first. Again, I know, right? But it's gonna be quicker questions. So I might ask you for a word, for a name. We'll get to those
Okay.
in a second. You're not gonna know why I'm asking you these questions, but then I'm gonna plug in your questions into the story. It could be funny, it could be helpful, it could be
Okay.
I don't know yet, you don't know yet, but just give us the I trust you to give us like clean answers for this. So yeah, also I have my microphone somewhere. I have this microphone too, so we'll just use this rose gold microphone. So are you ready?
Let's do this. Yes,
All
I
right.
am.
Mad Libs Affirmation Edition. So, first question for you. Um, Give me a verb.
Book.
Wait, you said look or book?
Look.
Look with the L. Okay. Number one, look. All right. Number two, can I have a noun?
Chicago.
Oh, okay. Chicago. That is a noun. So let's go with it. Number three, a direction.
North.
North. Okay. Now the questions get a little more interesting. Name an animal that eats plants or a herbivore.
Did it have to be still in extinct? I was gonna say dinosaur.
Maybe dinosaur. I think dinosaurs eat meat though.
Oh, okay. Giraffe.
A giraffe. Okay, that works. I don't know. I actually didn't research this. Maybe giraffes. I think giraffes eat plants. So, okay. A name beginning with the letter P.
Priscilla.
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 Wait, Priscilla, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Priscilla. Sorry. I'm working on limited sound right now and limited pins that want to work with me. Oh, you know what? Let's use my cactus pen. There's a pen that looks like a cactus. Okay, Priscilla. I'm not exactly sure how I want to spell that, but I'll spell it the best of my ability. Okay, number 6, an interjection.
Ouch.
Okay. All right. Number 7, a word that sounds funny. You can make one up too if you want to, but
Blue blah.
hoopla. Also gonna spell that the best way I can. All right. Number 8, a phrase that you hear a lot.
For real?
A clothing item.
Dress.
A color.
Turquoise.
Turquoise. An adverb.
An adverb. An adverb. I hope I'm getting this right. An
Do you want a
adverb.
reminder? It's
Yes.
okay. That's totally fine. It's usually like a verb that ends with ly.
Oh, suddenly.
Okay. Um, something you would like to eat for dessert.
Some black walnut ice cream.
Mmm. Sounds like something we should get today.
Yes.
Okay. The first word that comes to your mind right now. Don't think.
Caring.
Who?
Caring.
Harry?
Caring. Like
Like
care.
like Hairy?
Actually, it was popsicle.
Oh, well, we have a you know what, why not, let's just do which one do you
But
want to
then,
do?
but then I said caring, like sharing is caring.
Oh, caring.
Popsicle was the first one that popped up in my, I don't know why, but
Okay,
popsicle
let's
came
do
up.
popsicle then. Because it popped into your mind.
Yes.
Sorry, that was lame. A compliment you would give to your friend.
You're fantabulous.
Oh, you're fantabulous. I don't know how to spell that either, but
It's
I
like
will
fantastic and
say
fabulous at the same time.
fantastic and fabulous and say nice.
Fantabulous.
All right, last question in this segment. Positive word to describe yourself.
Loving.
Oh, sweet. Okay. My job is to read your answers. So if you hear something familiar, you came up with it, not me.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm going to read you the story and I'm
Oh,
going to plug in your answers. And you can laugh, you can chuckle, you can smile, whatever you like to do. Let's see what it turns into. All right.
oh,
I turned in my acting skills for this one.
all
All
right.
right. Every morning, I get up and look in the mirror. I think to myself, you're so good at looking. When I walk away, I see my Chicago and it looks really good. It looks better and better every time I see it. I turn to my giraffe and see a. Wait, sorry, I think I skipped something. Okay. When I walk away, no, I confused myself. Sorry. Okay, let's start over. I
Okay.
turn to my giraffe and see. Oh, no, 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 no. Never mind. I see what I did
Okay.
wrong. Okay, one more time. One more take.
Okay.
I turn to my north and see a photo of me as a child. It reminds me of that time I had a giraffe, the nicest pet I've ever had. Its name is Priscilla, and it's the
Uh,
cutest thing I've ever seen. When it looks at me, I say, ouch! That's how cute it is. Sometimes before leaving the house, I yell, blah, blah, so loud that I think my neighbors can hear me. I don't really care because I'm so confident in myself. My good friend always told me, for real. So I keep that in mind when I do such things. As I leave my house, I see my neighbor who gives me a friendly wave. I tell my neighbor, you have a nice dress. The neighbor says, thank you. Turquoise is my favorite color. I smile and say, it looks great on you. I always feel good to give others a compliment. I look at my watch and suddenly walk to my job. I am surprised to see black walnut ice cream on my desk. Did my boss buy this for me? Why? I see my boss and say, why would you buy this for me? It's so popsicle. It worked out. The boss looks at me and say, you deserve it because you're fantabulous. This
Yeah.
makes me feel good about myself. And I remember that as long as I continue to work hard and try my best, I will be a loving person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good.
Yay. All right. Thank you so much for playing this Madlibs game. That was fun, wasn't it?
Yes, that was fun.
How did you like the story?
I love it.
It worked out a little bit, especially, I mean, popsicle isn't really black walnut ice cream, but who wouldn't
Yeah,
want to see black walnut ice cream on their desk?
it's so caring was the second word that I was
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
cool.
All right. That was the end of our game segment. Thank you. Thank you for playing. I gotta have the microphone out.
You're
Now we're
welcome.
going to put the microphone right back down, and we're gonna do our viewers question segment
Oh,
once we're
okay.
back. Welcome back to the You're Here with Ataysia podcast. We are still here with my lovely mother, Ametra, and now we will be answering your questions for the viewers Q&A segment. Mother, are you ready to see what the people have to know?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's get started. So, wah! Almost dropped my phone. Question 1. What is a helpful tip you can think of for someone who lacks the ability to love themselves?
There's only one of you. You're wonderfully and you're uniquely made. You're one of a kind, and we have so much to be grateful for. So you want to give yourself grace and mercy and just love everything about yourself.
All right, nice. Very helpful tip. Who are some people whom you look at as personal inspirations?
Personal inspirations. I'm going to definitely say my children are personal inspirations.
Oh, you don't
And
have to say that.
no, I really do. I really do. When you go through a lot in life and you have those key people that's surrounding you, that's inspiring you, and that's what I have to say. My three children. Oh, and I am also inspired by a little fella who was born right on time to inspire me to keep fighting because that's my grandson. So the three of my children and my grandson, you all inspire me.
Oh, we
And
love
you
to
make
have.
me want to do everything that I need to do so that I can help make you all happy and have a great experience in life.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, stop. Oh, stop. Okay, next question. The world is ever changing. How do you feel now compared to previous years in your life about anything from society to your own personal ambitions?
I'm going to be honest with you. If anyone who's born like your age or like I just think that the times has changed tremendously, and I hate to say it, but not really for the best as far as relationships is concerned. Um, but I've worked on that. I've just learned that it seems like back when I was coming up into my adulthood, it just seemed like the relationships, and I'm not saying boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, I'm talking about overall relationships, whether it's with friends, whether it's with families. It seemed like it was more sincere and genuine.
Hmm.
Today I'm really been struggling with the whole thing of it just seemed like there's no unity, and I really struggle with that because I was raised and I was brought up in the era where there was a lot of love. Of course, everyone didn't, but there was a lot of love, and it just seemed like now, it just seemed like the song by Stevie Wonder, um, love is in need of love today. And I think that there's a lot of things that's lacking for whatever reason. I can't pinpoint it, but I think that if things, it's the people will learn to embrace and love each other no matter how different they are, I think that the world would be a much better place, or it can go back to, being a better place.
I mean, I don't know what it was. I was gonna say I agree, but I don't know what it was like. But I agree. Like, I never heard the song "Love Needs Love." I've never heard that phrase before, so that's something that's interesting. I would like to. We got to play that song after our interview, because you're right downstairs. But yeah, I think like coming from this generation, I could kind of answer at least my opinion. I think it could be a lot about what we decide to put our effort to, because now there's like social media. I feel like it's one of the biggest things, because just being in school, for example, you go to school, you see these people, and then in comparison to like when you were going to school, for me, you go home, first thing you do is go back on your phone and you're seeing with those people that you just saw in person, now you're seeing what they're doing online. And that can honestly do something here. It shouldn't, but like this is definitely a generation, or like I shouldn't say generation, but a day and age where people compare themselves more, like you what we talked about earlier. You're seeing this stuff on TV, you're seeing this stuff on social media that tells you what you're supposed to be, what you should be. And like it's hard to not go with that, because that's what you're exposed to, that's what you're seeing, especially at the young age where your brain is still developing. This is what you're seeing, that's what you believe. And I think that it's just important, like what we lack right now is to communicate with each other in person. Plus of course there was, the pandemic that also set us back even more. So,
Right.
and it's good. I feel like social media is a good thing. Like we need social media now for what we're doing, like especially entertainment wise. It has its pros and cons, of course, but I think like what I try to do in my life is have balance, where like, yeah, I'm on social media, I check it maybe more than I should, but I do check it like here and there, a little less than I used to, like during quarantine, like even a little bit after quarantine. And I try to put my phone out. Like I might be grabbing lunch with my friends, and I'd be like, guys, let's put the phones down, let's chat, and like it's fun. You have your phone, it's fun because you can keep in contact with these people. But it can also, like, not everybody might be on the same page. Sometimes you might read a text message that might not be how someone intended it to sound, because you're not face to face, you're not hearing it, you're not seeing it.
Right.
So yeah, I think that that plays a big role into why it's more complicated to have genuine. Like I feel like it's easier to make friends, but like genuine friends, it's like, it's about the experiences you have together. And if all the experiences are like, oh, I'm texting this person, oh, they text me back a certain way, then it's like
Right.
it's not
Yeah.
really, a genuine experience. So
Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
that was a
I
really
agree.
good question, by the way. Shout out to your daughter, your
Oh.
other daughter, for making that question. Yeah, it sounds very smart. So that was your daughter.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Let's dial it back a little bit. What are some places that you consider great vacation spots outside of where you live?
Oh gosh, I love Times Square
Mm.
in New York City. When I was younger, I always wanted to go to Las Vegas. I used to tell my mom when I become an adult, I'm going to move to Las Vegas. when we did go for Kendall's wedding, we went kind of like at a bad time because of the, what was it, a
Hurricanes.
hurricane?
Yeah.
Hurricane. And I was so ready to go. But I would like to revisit Las Vegas, but like on a day like we didn't get a chance to walk the strip or anything like that. But I love LA. I love Hollywood, California. So that's another place. I want to I like the parks there, the Florida. We went to Orlando,
Mm.
the park there. I really enjoyed that. I would like to go back to that again. I just love traveling. And now that I've finally got on an airplane, sky's the limit. I would like to go to more places like Texas and different places that I've always said that I wanted to. So, but I haven't quite got to the traveling
Mm.
out of the country yet,
Yeah.
but I'm sure I will eventually.
Hmm. That kind of answered the next question. So you can just say like, outside of the country, where would you like to go? Like, what's a country you would like to go to?
I think I would like to go to Paris.
Oh, yeah, me too. Me too, so bad. Okay, next question. Ooh, who inspired you to become a filmmaker?
Spike Lee.
Mm, that's enough said, right? Just Spike Lee. That
Like,
that answers it, right? Okay,
yes.
a few more questions or two more questions. What is your favorite directing experience?
My favorite directing experience was when, actually, it was when it never became a movie, but when I first got started and I was trying to do my first movie, Clean Heart, that was, um, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the cast. That was my very first cast, my very first time outside of high school, actually directing. And I just felt like the cast members, even though most of them were older than me, um, they respected me as a director. They took the instructions. I was kind I look back at old video and I'm like, well, I was kind of firm and stern, but they listened.
Yeah.
So when I first started, that was like one of I can say the one that I did not, if I was able to complete it, but I had a situation, but if I was able to complete it, I would say that was the best experience because again, the respect, and it wasn't all a lot that you go through now because back then people weren't really making movies. So the opportunities that was given to them to be in this movie, they were like, yeah, where I need to stand, what I need to say. Am I saying this right? So it was so welcoming. They welcome, I felt so welcome as a director and putting my vision out there where I was having the people that I was actually working with that they were like, we're all in this together, to grow. So
All right, nice. Hopefully we can see Clean Hearts sometime soon, maybe.
yes, coming real soon.
All right. Final question. What motivates you to keep following your goals and passions?
Oh, that's a good question. I will share this. Whenever I get try to give up or ready to throw in a towel, I hear my mother's voice because I remember that same movie I was telling you I was trying to do back in 1991. Um, I remember people would stop showing up when, like, key people I needed. They wanted to be in the movie, but they would stop showing up. And I remember I would get so upset, like, I'm trying to make this movie. I'm going to be the first Black female filmmaker to make a movie. So, all of these things I was really trying to do and get my story out. And I never forget that my mother said, no matter what happens, never give up. So each time from 1991, even up until 2025, whenever I'm like, forget it, I'm gonna give up, I hear her voice saying this to me. And I feel like I can't give up because I made this promise to my mom that I'm not going to give up, even when things get rough, because a lot of the things that I overcame, especially with losing my mom tragically, I always tell myself if I was able to bounce back from that, I'm sure I know I can bounce back from anything else.
All right, thank you. That's very sweet to hear. Thank you so much for answering all of these amazing questions from our viewers and our questions today. Now we will get into our final segment. All right, thank you so much again, Ametra, for answering all of our wonderful questions today and participating as a special guest on the You're Here with Ataysia podcast. For our last segment of this episode, we have a viewer message, and we would like for you to share a quick message with our viewers, so you can take it away.
Everyone has an audience somewhere out there, and you don't let the lack of response deter you and prevent you from keep moving, or you're saying, you know what, never mind, I just give up. No one's paying attention, no one's watching, because there are still people who are watching, and I'm glad I did not let that happen with me, because when I would do my movies and I may put it out there on social media or just put it out there and I wasn't getting a response, but the truth was told when it was opening night or when that screening came and those lines were wrapped around the door. We had to turn people away because it was sold out, or people started interviewing saying how they felt about it. So I want to encourage you today, if I can't do anything else, whatever that thing is, and you are elated about it, ecstatic about it, and someone around you or surrounding you may be like, meh, don't feed into that. Know that this is your great news and keep going with it.
Thank you so much for your wonderful viewers message. Viewers, I hope you guys have learned a lot from my mother and received a lot of advice that might have been needed, or just in general. So thank you again to our special guest, Ametra, for participating in the You're Here with Ataysia podcast for season 1. See you later.
Bye.
See you downstairs.
Thanks for having me, Ataysia.
Huh?
Thanks for having me.
Of course, thank you.
I'm so honored.
All right, I will see you downstairs.
I'll see you downstairs.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the You're Here with Ataysia podcast. Thank you again to my special guest, who was my mother. I'm so glad that she spoke with me today about this topic. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and gained some very important insight about loving you and self-love in general. I'm excited to be continuing this season with a couple more episodes. Look how far we've come, guys. We have so many episodes already. This is only the 3rd interview I've done so far, like timeline of like recording wise. So I'm getting the hang of it. So hopefully the other episodes are, pretty smooth as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe, and tune in next time on the You're Here with Ataysia podcast. Thank you all so much for coming. Make sure you also support my mother, because she's a great person, and she's really cool. She gives really good advice. So thank you again, mother, for joining us on this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time. Mwah! I'll give myself, let's start with like 30 seconds in round one just to get an idea since it's online. And then we'll go like 20 seconds and then 10 seconds for the final round. Maybe even a 5-second round. Why not?
Okay.
So it could be, you could draw whatever you want. It could be a character, it can be a logo, like whatever you like to draw, and then hopefully I can get it right. And then we'll take turns. So, River, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Yay!
Let's do it.
All right, let's do this. Okay, I'm scared. I'm ready, but I'm scared. All right, let's get the whiteboard out. Wait, Zoom does have a... Okay, yeah, here's a whiteboard.
Wait, how to use this generator? Okay.
I was using a generator for the last interview I did. We were like, what is going on? Okay. Can you draw on... Oh, I think you can. Okay, perfect. Okay. I'm gonna set the timer. Oh, yay, smiley face.